So fellas, welcome back to my channel. For the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. For the old subscribers, thank you for clicking on this video, man. So in today's video, I'm going to be answering one of my subscribers' questions, right? And what she asked was, how can one work as a freelancer, right? So basically, how can one start their own freelance journey, right? So before answering that question, as you can see, my cup is over here. Your boy wants to make some tea, so let's go make some. So you want to start your freelance journey, right? But before you do start your freelance journey, you need to understand that you need to have the right tools, the right mindset for you to begin. So without wasting time, let me give you guys some tips that you need. So the first tip, right, in beginning your freelance journey is you need to find your niche. Now, what I mean by this is you need to find what you are good at and then monetize it, or you need to find what you want to monetize and then find someone else that is good at it, right? So for example, for me, right, I wanted to monetize, social media growth, content creation and things like that. But the problem for me was, I never knew how to do any of those things. Now, what I did was I basically went on to hire someone that was good at those things and then bring that person on board as my quote unquote employee, right? And then monetize the service, basically, right? So that's the thing, man. In order for you to find your niche, you literally have to test, man. Like, there's no way around it, right? So for example, right, when I started my agency, right, I started looking for gyms. Then from gyms, I immediately switched to real estate. From real estate, I switched to e-commerce. From e-commerce, I switched back to real estate. And then I finally now landed to social media management, right? And that's what I've been doing ever since. But the thing was, I had to keep testing out these different niches for me to find out what was working for me. Now, mind you, fellas, like in all those niches I went through, I didn't know how to run Facebook ads or any of those things, right? So what I did was I hired someone else that was good at it, right? That was good at Facebook ads, and then have that person as my quote unquote employee to help me with my agency or to help me with my freelance journey. So it's pretty much, honestly, it's pretty much the same thing, right? So the thing about it is, once you find that person, it's going to be way easier for you because first off, you have the confidence that yes, I know I can fulfill this service if someone needs it because I have someone in place that's an expert that knows what he's doing, right? So that's the thing. Now, the second tip for you is you need to market yourself. I'm going to use this quote to kind of give an analogy, right? Now, here's a quote. If a tree falls in the middle of nowhere, does it really make a sound? Right? Now, basically, what I'm trying to say is if you're really good at your service and you don't attract people or you don't market yourself, are you really good at that service? You see what I mean? So the thing is, you can be good at the service, but you need to find someone to market your service for you, right? Now, there are different platforms to do this. You have Instagram, you have Upwork, you have, Fiverr, you have Twitter, you have all this service, right? But you need to find out, what is working for you. Again, fellas, in order for you to find out what platform or how to market yourself, you have to test, fellas. Like, you literally have to test, man. Like, experiment with all the different social media platforms, right? Now, again, for example, right, I used to do cold calls, right? For my quote unquote freelance agency, right? I used to do cold calls. I used to do cold emails to figure out a way to market myself. That's how I was marketing myself. But I found out that, those types of outreach was not really reliable for me, right? And finally, after, trial and error, I finally found Upwork, which most of you know, that's what I use for my agency and how I get my clients, right? Now with Upwork, as I've said again, with Upwork, literally all the job openings on there are all warm leads. So basically they are looking for your service. So that's one of the reasons I started using Upwork, because literally all the jobs on there are all warm leads, right? And it's way easier to convince, those prospects why they need to choose me rather than convincing them why they need my service and then convincing them why they need to choose me. So you see what I'm trying to say? So you need to market your service and find out what is the best way, to market your own service. Now, for example, for e-commerce, one of the best ways you could do is you could go through Instagram, right? Instagram is one of the good ways to market your e-commerce service, right? If you use it right. So that's the thing, you have to find out what is working for you, man. The third tip I'm going to give you guys is you need results for your freelance, job. Here's the thing, fellas, like, here's the reality of this, man. It's going to be 10 times harder for you, right, as a freelancer without a resume. And when I say resume, I mean without past experiences or past work. It's going to be hard for you, right, without a resume to get clients, right? Because guess what, fellas? There are other experts on there that have way more experience than you, right? And have been in the game longer than you, right? And that is why they are going to choose those people instead of you. Because guess what, man? You are no expert. You're just a beginner, right? Now, here's the thing, fellas. Like, a lot of us are beginners. I'm a beginner too, right? But the difference between me and you is I presented myself in a way that looks like I am an expert in my field. So I'm very sure someone is going to ask, oh, what confidence? How do you, present yourself as an expert? How do you show results when you're just a new person, right? Again, fellas, in order for you to provide results, it's very simple, man. Like, honestly, it's very simple to do this, man. Again, fellas, if you're actually good at Facebook ads, then obviously you already have results because you're already good at it. That's the thing. But let's say you're not good at it and you want to monetize that service. Well, what you need to do is you need to find someone that's already good at Facebook ads. And then once you have hired that person as your contractor, right, you then now ask that person, can I use your own results as my case study? So that's a way to bypass this and show yourself as an expert. Because again, as I've said, right, it's going to be hard for you to close clients, right, if they see you as either a beginner or a complete newbie. You see what I'm trying to say? So you need to present yourself as an expert in the field, in your field. Again, that is why you have to still do your research. Honestly, you still have to do your research, right, in the service you're looking for, because even though you don't know enough about it to fulfill that service, you need to know enough of that service to sell. That's the thing, right? Now, the fourth tip, right, is to make sure your operations are working as smooth as possible. Now, what I mean by this is, let's say, for example, you finally land your clients, let's say a social media management client, right? And now you want to onboard that person as your client. The next step, right, obviously, is to get their passwords for their social media accounts, their Google Drive link for any photos or videos they might have, and things like that, right? Now, imagine if you were asking all those questions through email. How would that look? It will look disorganized. You know what I mean? Like, it will literally look disorganized. That is why you need to have a smooth operation, right? So within our own agency, there's this thing where it's called an onboarding process, right? It's like a link or like a website, right, where a client goes through that link, and once it's done going through that link, we have their passwords, we have their goals, we have everything already in place. So it's going to be easier for us to just access what we need to access when we need to access it, right? So that is part of making your operations as smooth as possible, right? So once you have these operations in place, it's going to make your life way easier, honestly. Now, the last and final tip I'm going to give you guys, right, to help you with your freelance journey is this: you need to be persistent, man. You need to be persistent, man, because if you're not persistent, you are not going to go anywhere. It took me 4 months, right, of trial and error, literally 4 months of trial and error to finally land my first client, right? And even that first client was a baby client. Now, for some people, right, they might try for a month and then quit. You see what I'm trying to say? For some people that think, oh, SMMA is too good to be true, they might try for 2 months and quit and say, oh, I didn't see any results. Now, what if I tried for 3 months and then I'll quit? I would never have known I would get my first client on the 4th month. You see what I'm trying to say? So the thing is, you have to be persistent, man, because honestly, fellas, you can never know when your first client is going to come. You see what I'm trying to say? That's why you have to be persistent, because I get it, bro. Like, I've been there, man. Like, you're constantly outreaching and you're just wondering when that client will come. But the thing is, you cannot just know, right, until you get there. Honestly, you can never just know when your clients will come until you close that person as your client. So that's the thing, fellas. Like, the more persistent you are, the more you're going to keep leveling up. So be persistent, be diligent, and wait for your time to come, man, because it will come. You will close your first client, whatever it is. You know what I mean? And once you close your first client, right, I don't know why. I honestly don't know why, but it's like, once you close your first client, it's very hard for you to close your first client. But it's like, once you have closed your first client, it's just going to be easier to close every other client. I don't know why, bro. Like, I honestly don't know why. I don't know, maybe it's the universe or shit like that, but that's just how it works. You see what I'm trying to say? But yeah, fellas, I really hope you enjoyed this video, fellas. If you have any more tips that can help people in their journey too, please make sure you comment it down below. You know what I mean? Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to obviously subscribe. You know what I mean? So yeah, thank you guys for watching. This Confidence signing out. Peace.